Okay, this isn't even a show, but like I'm gonna introduce you.
Like it. We love it.
Like we're at a show. Welcome, Christie Valdiserri.
Yes.
I'm just excited to chat with you today. Actually, I didn't warn you about anything we're talking about.
It's okay.
So, here we go. Honestly, it's just about your journey and your life and Baldtourage. Everyone that meets you knows that you're like so confident. You have this radiating confidence and good vibe about you. Have you always had that confidence? Did it come from dancing? Did it come from getting older and just growing into who you are, or did it come from somewhere else?
Good question.
Thank you.
I would say I feel like I was confident growing up because I was a dancer, I was a cheerleader, I was in a sorority in college.
Wow. Okay.
So that like kind of naturally came to me. But then when I lost my hair like 6 years ago, the confidence, and anyone can vouch for this who's lost their hair, like goes out the window. So for a solid period of my early 20s, I like didn't know myself. I was really in a dark place and definitely was not confident, or didn't even like love myself or believe in myself. I couldn't even look in the mirror. Like when my hair was falling out, when I would take off my wig, because I would wear it 24/7.
Wow.
I wouldn't even look in the mirror when I would take it off.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
just, I would have to like, when I was going to get the wigs done, like would turn the chair so I wasn't facing the mirror. So
Wow.
I definitely wasn't always confident. Like this was a whole identity change, and that's something that's completely out of my control.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, I can't keep living like this, like hiding and not being proud of who I am and my journey and my struggle. So I feel like probably like 5 years ago, I've really leaned into like finding myself and my confidence again. But half the tea is like you just pretend, like you just hold your head up high. Like I don't know if I really am confident. I guess to an extent, but I put that on because I want to be. I want to like feel that way. So it's a little bit of like a
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of where that comes from. But also, I was just talking about this with my friend. Like, I feel like a lot of people feel confident because in today's world, where you get validated, whether it's like online, by who your relationship or your friends. Like, it sucks, but validation helps people's confidence. So, you know what I mean? If you're online and you're getting all this hype and love,
so true.
It can build your confidence because you're like, oh, well, this whole community online, people love me. Like, I feel like that's a factor in people's level of confidence in what they're saying to themselves, what people are saying to them, and how often they get validated.
Right, which is good and bad because it's like when you think about having confidence, like back when you had hair and you're like, yeah, I was confident growing up. And then it's like when you lost your hair, it probably made you realize, which me too and everybody, it's like some of that confidence comes from our appearance.
Oh,
and
for
it's like,
sure, especially as women.
Right, exactly. And it's like that's not necessarily the place that you should be like channeling or sourcing your confidence from. Again, when you're getting validation online, it's good because I'm sure people saw you on Sports Illustrated, like on the runway, and for them it was even validating because they're like, oh my God, look at Christie. Like,
and it
she's
gives
out
them
here,
hope.
and it gives them hope.
Yeah.
In my world, people might one day be stoked and excited and love me, and then the next day it can change. And so it's like you can't put too much into
emphasis on it.
Yeah,
because it's also out of your control. Like we're living our lives, we're being vulnerable to put our lives on social media, and then we can't control everyone's comments and how they're going to take what we're doing. You have to know it's good for what it is, but the like real self-love and self-belief has to come from internal.
Absolutely.
You know? But awesome. It's really true what you're saying about the physical appearance, because so many, like, if you're a beautiful woman, like, it's easier, I would say, to be confident when you, like, people are validating you. Even just in day-to-day life, you walk anywhere and people are commenting how beautiful you are.
Right.
So when that's stripped from you, as when you lose your hair, it's a whole different, like, I gotta find out, like, who I really am, because I'm like so vulnerable, and it's all what I was hiding under is completely gone.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, that's watching this not show.
Here we are.
What is Baldtourage?
Yeah, so it's actually the 3rd year anniversary right now in March. I started it in 2020, March 2020. And it's a community for women, girls, and mothers that have daughters with hair loss of any sort. And we do online events every month. We have a mentorship program. We have a mama meetup night, and we have a ladies wine night that The moms come, oh, we get a little lit on there. The moms come all on Zoom, so you can live wherever. We have people in all over the world. We have a member in Italy, we have some in England, Australia, all over the world, and we come on and the moms come and we just talk about whatever it is. We relate to each other, we're asking questions. Like, it's cool to see like the moms, because they're also going through it. So it's cool to see them connect and support each other and lean on each other. And then the ladies, we come and we drink wine and we're like talking about dating, we're talking about what's going on in their day-to-day life. Like, it's like a sisterhood and like a friendship. It's not like, well, alopecia this and alopecia that. Like, it's more like we're just women living across the world with this similar difference, and let's just catch up. So we have those. And then we have a monthly event every month. So last month we did like a makeup tutorial on how to do brows and lashes. We had like a spa party. This month we're doing like a calligraphy class. I have a talent show. I do a fashion show. All on Zoom. Every month we do a different thing. And then we have a group chat that all the ladies are in, and then all the moms are in, and they can text in there whatever they need. And it's just a monthly subscription that they can get all of these things. A community, new friends, a group chat. Like, and I'm not only saying this because I am the founder and started it and I put all my energy into it, but it legitimately has changed people's lives.
Right.
Like, I'm in awe of what I created and what the community has created within each other, that like it legitimately has changed people's lives and given people hope. It's changed these kids' lives, these moms' lives. Like, it's so powerful, and I'm in awe that I've created this, and the community has come to where it's at. So
those little girls, literally seeing them like run into your arms, and they look up to you.
It's
like,
so cute, right?
And you are a supermodel. Like, you literally walked on the Sports Illustrated runway, and so you really are all those things. But seeing them see themselves in you and all you've accomplished, all you've done,
it's so beautiful, right?
It's so beautiful, and it's just so. It's so cool. What would you say to parents that have a kid like either just getting alopecia or a kid who's had alopecia and they're struggling to find their confidence?
Well, I would say that it's a whole different journey for the kid and for the parent. Like, sometimes it's a lot harder on the parent because they're adults and have expectations of and know how the reality of the world is. But a kid, they're just like happy-go-lucky and they're in the moment, and they, so I would say that to the parent, like, the kid is going to be okay. I promise you, with everything, they're going to be okay. And if they're in our community, they're going to be extra okay. They really are. All right, nice and loud, girl.
What has alopecia or hair loss taught you? It taught me like how beautiful I am, and I can teach myself how to stand out and like be confident.
I love you. Yes.
Very similar to what Aria said, it's taught me to have confidence in myself. Outside of my appearance, there's so much more about me that's amazing.
If I had one wish, what would it be? My wish would be that everybody feels really happy and whole, confident and worthy.
Because there's so many highs and so many lows, but the highs, of course, are thinking about the positive impact that it will have on her. That's what I focus on.
Say, describe yourself in 3 words.
I'm silly.
You're silly, yeah?
What?
And what else? You're
Cute.
And one more.
I'm smart.
Yes.
And the 2 things that make me happy are my friends that supported me and the Baldtourage.
Do you think we need it one more time, or are we ready? It's going to be perfect? With no mistakes?
And you don't need it.
Oh! Okay, so we're going to come all the time and sit up front back, okay? So you girls go off stage. When you're backstage, you're quiet. You're over there off stage, just squish in the corner, and we're going to move all the chairs to the front. No matter what, I mean, big smiles. We're going to do it twice for the parents, okay? You're going to walk down confidently, like you're the queen of the world, because you are. You're going to walk down with your head held high. You're going to walk all the way down, and when you get to the end, you're going to rip that wig off and strike a pose. We have this group chat with the moms, and just this morning, a mom was writing in it about her experience and how she's frustrated and feels for her daughter. And these other moms are writing in being like helping her out, giving her advice.
That's awesome.
So community is like one of the most powerful things in the world. Like that is why people are okay, I feel like, because they have a community of people that they can relate to.
Right.
You know?
And I'm really curious, when you went from wearing wigs and not being able to look in the mirror, at what point did you take the wig off, and were you like really honing in and being like, this is who I am, I'm embracing it?
Yeah.
And then was that around the time that you went out for Sports Illustrated, or did that come way before?
So I was wearing a wig for like a year. I just moved out here, and I made the decision. I was like, I can't keep hiding like this. Like people are seeing me as this like bright, happy-go-lucky, bubbly blonde.
Yeah.
And then I'm going home and crying myself to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
With my eyebrows falling out. Like, so I was like, people are perceiving me the opposite of how I feel about myself. So I wanted to bridge the gap to have more clarity within myself and how people were interacting with me. So I made the decision. I was like, I'm gonna make a dance video and I'm gonna post it online of me without a wig. And I remember clicking posts and freaking out, like, you know, when you're announcing something, was freaking out, like through my phone, had this whole day, I like invited all my friends, had this whole celebration. Of course, like it was a very celebratory day. And then I had like patches growing in, and so I was doing everything at the time to get my hair back. I was like, something's wrong with me. I need to heal this. I need to cure this. I need to fix this. And like, that's so not the truth now. Like, teach my little girls, I'm like, there's nothing wrong. We don't need to fix this. This is happening to us because you're supposed to be like this. Like, this is my journey. I'm supposed to, like, there's nothing wrong with me because I'm bald. So at the time, I was doing everything to grow my hair back. And I was like, this is temporary. I'm gonna go out to these auditions with these giant patches, half a brow, no brow, like just giant patches. But I was like, this is temporary. So I can handle this because it's temporary. So my hair was growing back. And then Sports Illustrated wasn't even crossing my mind at the time. I remember seeing my friend a year prior submit, and I was like, oh, I can't do that until my hair grows back.
Wow.
Literally, that thought went through my head.
That is wild.
I was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do it with a wig, and I'm not gonna do it until my hair grows back. So then my hair's growing in, and then out of nowhere, it falls out again. It's all over my pillow, it's all over my sweatshirts, it's in the shower, and that was really hard, like to go through it all over again. Once I was putting everything, I was not dating, I was not going to auditions, I was skipping work, like everything was on pause because all I was caring about was growing my hair back. So it's growing, and then it falls out of nowhere. And so I was like, okay, that's it. I'm shaving my head, I'm submitting a video to Sports Illustrated, and I'm getting on with my damn life, right?
I love that.
So I was just sick and miserable of this dictating my life and my happiness and my career and my self-worth. So I took the power back, which is way harder than me talking about it 4 years later. I'm like reflecting, and it's easy to talk about, but at the time, going through something, it's extremely hard, but it's not always gonna be that hard. I knew, like, if I do this, it's gonna benefit me in the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's just so powerful because you've taken something that was so painful, and I think the thought of, for like a lot of women, the thought of losing your hair, it is frightening and it's sad and it's scary, but it's like you've taken that thing and you've like made it something amazing for yourself.
Thank
and
you.
Like we've talked about personal branding and like, you know, advancing yourself and letting people know you for who you are rather than being associated with an organization or a company or Sports Illustrated, The Bachelor, like whatever it is, like letting people know you for you and your heart. And I feel like you've done such an amazing job of that. And Baldtourage is like the example, and I got to see that firsthand.
I know, you really did.
Which was so cool. Aww. And it just made me so emotional being there and like seeing these little girls. Some of them literally flew in to see you, to meet you, and to experience like being around other little girls that look like them and grown-up girls that look like them too.
And we just like, as women in our 20s, we're just like, I'm just going about my life. Like, I'm not a master at this. Like, I don't know what to do. I just like know that like it's become naturally to me. So I don't, I was just listening to a podcast recently about doing things and like a brand and a career that is fulfilling, and you're not doing it for me to sit on this couch and you tell me how amazing it is, you know? Like I'm doing it or to get validated online. Like I do it because I didn't know what else to do. I just think that a little girl shouldn't exist in the middle of the country with no one around her that looks like her.
Right.
She has no understanding why she looks this way. Like, I just don't think that a little girl should walk this walk alone. So I've done this and created this company and this brand because it was so hard for me to be alone and like dealing with this in my 20s. I can't even imagine what it's like for an 8-year-old to have hair one day and 3 weeks later it's gone and she has no idea. She feels fine, she has no idea why, and no one else she's ever seen looks like her. And now she just has to
Deal
live
with
her
it,
life.
yeah.
Like,
cope.
So, yeah, and has no understanding as a kid. So I do it because it's natural and it's my mission, you know, like this has happened to me so I can bring people together and teach people about it and give people hope.
Recently, we were at a PR event. We played this game and everybody had to say like the kind of kid they thought you were in high school.
Oh yeah, forgot about this.
You were like dying laughing listening to everyone's responses because you were like, that's so funny because I didn't look like this in high school.
Right.
But nobody there knew you. It was like all random people. Hearing people's response to that, like do you think that 10 years ago it would have been totally different?
Oh, yes, like that's why when we were doing it and everyone was going around, I was like, wait, but if I was wearing a blonde wig right now,
what would you
the answers would have been way different, like for real, because my personality is this way and it's probably even more comes out because I feel sometimes I have to overcompensate in a way with my confidence because of my look. That's a natural thing and people definitely can relate to that. But if I was wearing a blonde wig, I guarantee the answers would have been different. Right. So it's a confusing thing for someone like me because I am the same person. I'm just like more developed and I've gone through more shit at this rate. I've had more experiences, so I'm a little bit more different in that way. But I was just this like everything was just easy, and I was this cheerleader, and I was like kind of popular, but very into like I was very involved in my ballet company. Like I was a very strict dancer. But people, I think some of the answers were like, you were kind of emo, you were kind of like, I was like, huh?
I know.
Like that's the opposite of me. But they didn't know me at all. They literally knew me in the 5 minutes of playing that game and what I look like.
Right.
So and then I remember feeling like, okay, I don't really want to go over this anymore. It was making me feel like, it's confusing and like.
It was a weird question in the game, but it was something that really, like, to me, it struck me, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting, like, because
and I got the question, like, it would have been different for someone that looked the same in high school, or similar,
I actually was playing that game a few days later, and with like my actual friends, and it was like very similar because I look probably very similar to how I did.
got the question.
I got the same question. I thought about you.
Wow.
I know, but I reflected on that and I was like, oh, your experience in that moment was probably much different than my experience in that moment.
And it's a little like, sometimes it feels a little like bitter or like, it's a little bit of anger because I'm like,
it's made your life different. And you have to deal with that, and we don't.
And I have zero control over it.
Right.
So it's like, I just have the control over how I handle it and how I like go on with my life. But in that moment, I'm like, you guys literally have no idea because I look completely different as but not everyone with alopecia has that experience. As you see, some of the kids, people grow up with it.
Right. Oh, that's so true.
I knew myself for almost 23 years one way, like a tall, beautiful, long hair blonde. Like that was my identity, and that's how people perceived me. This blonde girl that's a dancer, a cheerleader, friendly, has a lot of friends, in a sorority, and then you lose your hair, and it's like, I've noticed even with dating, people are more intimidated by this like striking look because it is a look of confidence.
Yes.
Not everyone can walk around with nothing on their head.
Right.
You know, so the dynamic is different with how people perceive me without a wig on.
Interesting.
You know?
It's so, I mean, I imagine it's changed so many aspects of your life.
So many aspects. And I don't think people who haven't lost their hair can't fully understand. Like, gratefully, I'm not sick and I feel okay day in and day out. But the psychological and the emotional and all of the things in our brain and our mind as a woman is affected. Right. You know, and it's just about like constantly finding self-love and like knowing that I just validate it or justify it to myself that this happened to me for a reason. Right. This was supposed to happen.
And is that kind of the approach you take with the girls in Baldtourage? Like, I know when we were there, we did an icebreaker, and I feel like the questions, some of them were like really easy, simple, whatever, but then some of them were like, why why do you like having alopecia, or what has having alopecia taught you?
Right.
What do you like about yourself? And is that a reflection of how you teach these girls to have confidence in themselves? Like, is that what it's like in a Baldtourage event or meeting or Zoom call, however you guys do it from week to week, month to month?
So we have the Confidence Club, and that's Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and the girls, they all come on, and so they're all like seeing each other. There's literally like 15 to 20 girls on there that look alike from different states all over the country, different time zones, different ages within the same, but and so I'll always do like, we always start with how do you feel, or how are you feeling today, and why? And they'll be like, happy, excited, tired, sad. And I'll be like, why are you feeling these ways? Then some of them share, this happened at school, or I'm sad because my grandparents left this weekend, like whatever it is. At whatever level. But so they share their feelings, and I'm always like, your feelings are valid. You don't have to, you can feel however you want, girls. And then the next question is, what are you grateful for today? So I really, really believe in like,
gratuity.
Yeah, talking about gratuity and bringing a point to acknowledge what you do have. And then I do a question of the day, and it's always like, what's your favorite thing about having alopecia? What's your favorite thing about yourself? 3 things you're grateful for, or like whatever it is, any question. But yeah, I feel like having them, some of them come on with a hat and are literally like, I'm blah, blah, blah. Like this is how they talk the first day. 3 months in, they're like, my favorite thing about myself is my bald head. I love being bald because it makes me different. And it's like, I literally have watched you change in 3 months, you know?
That's awesome.
So these questions, I think, and hearing other girls be like, wait, she said she loves being bald, or she loves alopecia. Like, I never thought I could feel that way. But to see, it's like a mirror.
It chills again, yes.
To see someone else that you look like say that, it's like, oh wait, maybe I can love this.
Right.
Because another little girl in Texas or whatever is loving it, so maybe I can.
Right. That was one thing I noticed at the event, where like not every girl, but so many of the girls were saying, I love this because it makes me different. This makes me unique, and that's cool. Like, they had this confidence about themselves, and I was like, I didn't even have that much confidence with all my hair at 9 years old. So whatever you're doing, it's working.
It's helping. It's helping them, and it's who they're around, and their parents nurturing them, and like reminding them that they're beautiful without hair. And because some kids have the experience that their moms are like, you have to wear a wig. You have to wear a wig. Like, you have to go to school, wear a wig, and like, you got to look like this.
Right.
And so it's hard because adults have expectations for their kids. Parents have expectations. And then for a kid to be going through this, and I've heard of stories of the kid mom being like, let's put a wig on. And that I just really don't believe in the long haul is not going to help.
My name is Grace, and I am 8 years old, and my question was, what is the best part of alopecia? And the best part of alopecia is that I got to meet all these amazing girls.
Your favorite thing about having alopecia?
I don't know.
Think about it. Think about how many amazing things that you've gotten to do from having alopecia.
I look better.
Yes! That's my girl! You sure do!
My name is Karen, and I am mother to Miss Lily over here. And I had the same question, what is the best part of alopecia? And I would say just watching her shine with bravery and confidence and inspiring so many people. So proud of you.
My name is Lily, and my question was, what is your favorite thing about yourself? And I would say it's because I'm different, and I love that.
Being bald is actually way more common than people think. And like so many people struggle with alopecia, but so many other things as well. And I just think everything that you're doing, it's like showing that this is way more normal than people think. And even since meeting you, I've met so many people that either have alopecia or have just become more aware maybe of that world. Yeah, so it's just really interesting to see how
it is such a common thing.
It's way more common than I thought.
And it's a reminder with what you were saying. It was making me think like everybody to some level has some shit they hate about themselves, or has some insecurity or some problem. Mine just happens to be on the top of my head. But everybody has to an extent. And that also like makes me feel human and makes me feel connected to people, because to an extent, everybody has a story of something that they've gone through or something they struggle with or something that's not easy for them. Mine just happens to be, you can see it right off when you see me, you know?
That's actually so true. Like literally everybody, especially women. I know, and honestly men too, but everybody has something about themselves that they literally look in the mirror and they're like, I can't stand this.
Right.
And every book I've read, every expert I've talked to has said, like, you have to stand in front of the mirror and look at that piece of yourself and be like, I love that.
Find a way to love it, yeah.
Yes, no matter what it is, because even if you can change it, even if it might change, you still have to embrace that and love that as you are today to have true self-love.
And it's not like you're gonna look in the mirror and be like, I love my head, okay, I'm on with the day. Like, it's a process.
Yeah.
I have to shave my head every day, and when I don't shave my head, I have these giant patches. And I'm like, at this point in my life right now, that I'm like, without makeup, I look at myself and I'm like, every day I'm like, I'm closer to like fully loving it and embracing it and feeling comfortable with it. But it's a process. Self-love it's never ending. You just have to continue every day to put the work in.
Yeah, and we're gonna be changing every day as well. Like our bodies change, our faces change as we get older.
The career, our experience, where we live, our relationships, so many things are changing. So we have to constantly be working on and checking in with ourselves and loving where we're at, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, my last question for you. Where do you see Baldtourage and yourself in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Like, what are your expectations, your dreams, your desires?
Wow, good question.
This is our time to manifest.
Yeah, let's go. It's on camera. Everyone's gonna hear it.
Yes, exactly.
I would say, personally, I want to be like known for like my confidence and being bald. I want to like spread my message through like modeling and dancing and just making my name bigger for and having like a big life. I just like see myself like having a lot of people around me and doing it's not really specific, but I just want to like have a bigger life and be known for all the good that I'm bringing into the world and like the lives that I'm changing. And I want to be able to do that through what I love, dance and modeling and being in front of the camera and hosting and all of these things that are in the entertainment industry. I want to be a face of alopecia and putting myself out there and being bald and being beautiful and owning it and not how I felt when it first happened. And then for Baldtourage, I would love to just continue to expand it and have more in-person events. And I have so many ideas that I can do within the alopecia community or within Baldtourage. Like, I want to have a night that like all my girlfriends that have alopecia, we all come and we get hot outfits and get our makeup done and take pictures and feel good about it.
Can I take the pictures?
Yes, literally, yes. Like, exactly, a woman that understands and is here for it. Like, I want to be around more people that are like-minded and are supporting each other and like bringing out the best in each other, because what's the point? Yeah. Like, we're here for a reason, you know?
I always think that about life. I'm like, what's the point? I'm like, we are here to connect and be with people and like live our lives to the fullest. I believe it fully.
And I feel like I have this gift of bringing people together and showing them that it's going to be okay, and like making people forget about whatever's going on in their life for an hour in my dance class or in whatever I'm doing, or they go on a magazine or on something and they see me rocking it and they're like, well, I have a discoloration of skin and she's bald and I relate to her. Like, I want to just be a
connector.
To bring people together, and that it's okay to have a difference and to rock it and to lean in. And it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Like, some days it sucks, and that's okay to express that and be vulnerable, and that's what connects people.
Love it.
So a big life, everyone. It's coming.
Life.
A big life.
That's like the best answer. You're like, honestly, I just want a big life.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if it's like specific exactly, but I just know that I want it to be a lot of good energy and doing what I love every day.
I love that. Well, perfect.
Here we are.
We did it. Oh, thank you for joining me on this not show that feels like a show.
We're on a full show. Susie couch right here.
On the Susie couch.
On the Susie couch.